Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new Mr. Informal podcast. We are on podcast 224. I hope you are doing well today. I hope you are safe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world and wherever you are listening to me and this podcast. Again, please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. So, what do we have for this week's podcast? 224. X. That's right, X. Is it X-Men? Is it Mega Man X? Is it Experiment Gone Wrong? Is it Chemical X? I don't know, but it seems like Twitter is rebranding themselves. Number 2, Google is developing news that is made by artificial intelligence. That's concerning. Number 3, something different. Flask is actually going to manufacture many of their tumblers and water bottles in the Western Hemisphere. Could be the US, could be Mexico. Last but not least is buy now, pay later is on the decline. That is actually a good thing because a lot of young people have debt these days, more debt than they can handle. And with this decline, it's actually great news. I hope they become more responsible, or they actually become responsible with their money. So those are the 4 topics for this week's podcast, and so let's go ahead and start the podcast. On the first topic, from hypebeast.com, Elon Musk is rebranding Twitter to X. Twitter has officially begun its rebranding process to X. Shouldn't be began. Elon Musk announced the news on the social media platform in the late hours of the evening with his first tweet reading, and soon we shall bid adieu to the Twitter brand and gradually all the birds. And his second tweet reading, if a good enough X logo is posted tonight, we'll make it go live worldwide tomorrow. He also joined Twitter's Spaces conversation but did reveal much more, except for the fact that Twitter logo will be changed the next day. As of this writing, in accordance to another tweet of Musk, X.com now directs to Twitter. Interesting. So we got from Facebook to Meta, and now Twitter to X. I do miss the bird. Don't get me wrong. Could be flipping the bird, riding to the bird, and whatever birds you want to think. Fly to the birds. Make the bird fly. Certainly, it's an interesting move. Am I a fan of the name X? No. X.com. Yeah, that's a pretty cool website. X.com, but a name that, what are people gonna call it? Are they gonna call it tweeted? It's not gonna be the same anymore, obviously. But hey, it's his company. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just not a fan of the name. Why change it at all? Is it because it had bad reputation? I don't know. Could it be that there's too many people, too many bots in X? Honestly, I don't even know. But it will make it simpler when it comes to creating merchandise. And I guess it's just one syllable, X. It's easier to say, easier to pronounce, right? Especially wherever you are in the world. Sometimes you can't pronounce Twitter, so just call it X, and it's that simple. I guess I won't be surprised if a lot more companies in the Silicon Valley start rebranding themselves. Facebook is maybe gonna call themselves F-book. I don't know, but we all know it's Meta. I wouldn't be surprised if WeWork suddenly rebrands themselves to iWork or WW. Could be something like that. I mean, don't be surprised if a lot of these brands suddenly rebrand themselves. On to the second topic from hypebeast.com titled Google is reportedly working on artificial intelligence that writes news articles. That is absolutely concerned. I would not be happy about this. I'm telling you. This to me is evil. This is beyond evil. Like, we don't even know what's true, factual, what's facts. Honestly, we don't. So in the article, Google is testing out an AI tool that'll pen news articles and is in the throes of pitching it to the major publication. According to a new report from the New York Times, the tool is codenamed Genesis and has already been pitched to outlets such as the Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal. Wow. Basically, these companies are gonna fire their writers. They're gonna lay off a lot of writers. And also, I mean, they could basically tell the AI to make something up. I mean, don't get me wrong. There have been journalists that were biased, and still are biased. They write whatever they want. They damage celebrities and certain people, but to create an AI, oh man, I think that's even worse. So a source described the tool's abilities as unsettling, while some may fear that such programs could wipe out journalists entirely. Google seems to envision Genesis as merely an accompaniment that saves journalists time by putting certain data points into writing. That is absolutely evil. To me, this is why I don't even read a lot of news anymore, because you don't even know what's true. Journalists, however, expressed concern that the pieces simply wouldn't be accurate regardless. Google, meanwhile, still hasn't officially confirmed any details about Genesis or when it plans to launch the program. Wow. I mean, think about it. If you're the type to scroll news in your phone, you're in the subway, you're in the bus, or you're taking public transportation, you could be in the plane, you could be in the train, wherever. Again, you're scrolling down the news and you don't even know what's true anymore. Is this actually news? I mean, are we removing the human element into this? I mean, basically, these news by AI could put out as many news per day they can just to get the clicks as much as they can for these websites such as the New York Times. So the New York Times is going to churn out a lot of news per day because these AI tools is going to help save journalists time, because they can make a one-page essay in a matter of seconds, and all the journalists have to do is proofread it, or maybe change some words, or make sure the sentences is actually correct. Maybe they have a subject and a predicate, maybe there's adjectives. I mean, it could be anything, but man, it's pretty obvious that we humans are creating a monster in the digital world. A monster that it's pretty obvious is already too late to stop, and we seem to not even try to stop it. So this basically lets me know that just do what I keep doing, meaning not read a lot of news. On to the third topic. This is coming from Supply Chain Dive, titled Hydro Flask owner shifts bottle production from China to Western Hemisphere. That is going to be interesting. So US-based Hydro Flask owner Helen of Troy, wow, okay, that's the head company, has made progress on its nearshoring initiative in line with its existing and new supply capabilities outside of China, according to a July 10 earnings call. During Q1, the company relocated some of its Hydro Flask bottle production to the Western Hemisphere. What does that even mean? Is that South America? North America? Central America? COO Noel Jeffroy told analysts during earnings call it also expects to ship production of its OXO pop containers by early fall. Helena Troy nearshoring strategy will help us diversify geopolitical risk and enhance our responsiveness and reduce inventory. Wow, that is interesting. Another interesting part is that they're talking about their environmental impact. In addition to its environmentally friendly design, this new facility has significant levels of new capability and automation that will enhance multiple areas of our business for years to come. No, the funny thing is that they don't even want to say what part of the Western Hemisphere they want to make. Most likely it's going to be South America or Central America. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mexico. It's not going to be America or Canada. So, but this could be a good thing because I don't think they're going to put 100% of the manufacturing in China or even in Western Hemisphere. Most likely they'll have 30% here in North or South America, wherever it is, and then call it a day. But this is actually great news because at least they are reducing their risk, not just putting everything in one area, unlike in China. Also, it is interesting that Hydro Flask is doing this now. I mean, shouldn't they have done this a long time ago? Maybe they didn't see the risk. Maybe they were enjoying their bonuses so much that they suddenly forget to move some of its products to certain areas. That way they can reduce the risk. It's pretty obvious that they got hit with inventory last year and maybe the year before because they said that they're reducing the risk and reducing the inventory. So, and they said that this move will generate 20 millions in savings for the year 2024. Look, I'll be honest with you. Am I a fan of Hydro Flask? No, because I prefer other designs out there. But I do respect them because they're everywhere. They also have good system. You can have replaceable cap. You could also have a changing cap with a straw. You could also have a wide mount, tiny mount, whatever you want to call it. They do have a great system. They also have a great cleaning system to clean your water bottles. So I do respect them in terms of business. But it's just not, I just think that their designs are just they're just ordinary designs, okay? But it is interesting that they are doing this. I won't be surprised if maybe Clean Canteen would also do this. Could it be Starbucks would also do this? I don't know. But certainly it's a great move. Should have done a long time ago. It is a great move for a company to be doing this. At least it gives them an advantage or a geopolitical advantage to other companies, because if it's close to the US, then it's certainly easier to ship, and it's also easier to produce, and also less time in lead time. Also, it's faster shipping too. So it's going to be interesting what they do here, but hopefully they do succeed, because if they do succeed, then hopefully the other companies will follow. On to the last topic from retail.com, titled Buy Now, Pay Later App Downloads Decline. It's actually a good thing. Hopefully these new young people or whoever you're owing money is going to be more responsible. So consumer downloads of Buy Now, Pay Later apps fell for the second quarter compared to earlier period, the third consecutive quarter of a year-over-year decline, according to a report published Friday by Bank of America securities analyst. Average daily Buy Now, Pay Later app downloads globally for that quarter declined 22.8% year-over-year to 104,000. The report said on a total basis, U.S. Buy Now, Pay Later downloads for the second quarter fell 19% relative to the earlier period to 5.51 million, analysts wrote. You see, this is actually a great thing. You know, the less people have to use buy now pay later, the less they have to deal with money and debt, and also the less stuff that they'll have at home, and stop impressing other people that don't even care about you. So, while buy now pay later industry is macro sensitive, we believe that the category is here to stay. I do agree. Given a meaningful value proposition for certain consumers and merchants, Bank of America analyst wrote in Friday note. I do agree that it is here to stay, because sometimes you want to buy it now because it could be FOMO, or it could be the last on sale and then you want to pay it later. So Sweden-based Klarna saw the largest drop in global daily downloads for the quarter, with a 38.1% year-over-year plunge. Australian Afterpay, owned by digital payments company Block, was the sole buy now pay later provider to experience growth in daily downloads globally for the quarter, increasing 9.2% year-over-year. So, despite the decline in app downloads, the number of monthly active users is still growing for buy now pay later providers. Those figures grew year-over-year with both in the US and globally, analysts wrote. Not only that, once the economy does get better, don't be surprised if buy now pay later apps actually boomed, because, well, more people got more money, and also they decide not to pay it now. But honestly, the responsible thing to do is, if you don't have the money, don't even buy it. Just don't. If you don't have the cash, don't even download it. Maybe save up and just pay it when you actually have the money. Why is that so hard to understand? But apparently you got people out there that are enjoying the hype or fear of missing out, so they decide to buy it now. I mean, this is basically like owning a credit card. Because next month, you decide, you know what, I'm going to have the money by next month. Instead, I'll just pay today, and then I'll pay it off the next month. But that is a bad mindset, because what if something happens in between? It could be an emergency, or it could be something that you got to have. Again, you never know. It's just better just to have the money now, or maybe save it up for later, and just buy it when you actually have the money. No, it all comes to mindset. I think just people trying to impress other people, trying to have the fear of missing out. I mean, trying to have that just in case mentality. Just in case I don't need it in the future, I might as well buy it now. Don't get me wrong, there's times when I do have those moments, but again, I'm getting to the point where, it's better for me to have the money now instead of just using it. I have never downloaded these buy now pay later apps. I have never used it. Never. Because again, it all comes to mindset. When you have the money, or when you want to save up the money, it's just better to have the money now. Now, don't get me wrong, these things will grow and grow as the years come, and it's going to be much more popular, just like how credit card was and still is. And these buy now pay later is also going to have a reward system where they're going to reward you with points. Could be the flight, could be cash back, it could be anything, so don't be surprised. Hey, don't even be surprised if credit card is doing this now. It's pretty obvious that they've done it, but not at this level. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting in terms of the financial sector of the world, especially when it comes to the financial transaction of the world, or fintech. And so that basically concludes this Mr. Informal Podcast 224. Hopefully you listened to me from beginning to end, and if you did, I do appreciate it. And so please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night wherever you are in the world. I hope you stay healthy, stay safe, enjoy life, and try to be happy as much as you can, or just enjoy life. And so I will see you in the next podcast. Bye bye.